We're on the way to Watson's Bay. What a beautiful sight. Right, just sorts out the old Neshama, doesn't it? I mean, kind of puts you in a place of awe, right? It's like going to Yosemite. Refreshing, rejuvenating, recharging. Man, every care and concern I had in Los Angeles is now gone. And did those feet in ancient times walk upon Sydney Harbour, the green? Was the Holy Lamb of God? This is where he came, mate. Oh, look at that. Watson's Bay. We're at the entry to Sydney Harbour. What a magnificent sight it is. This will sort you right out.
Matthew McConaughey as the presidential candidate just seems so like such a good idea.
Absolutely. That Phil's goal to be like doing that.
Yeah, okay, maybe so. He doesn't, he's cool. He is kind of reasonable on the issues. Like, I don't even think Republicans hated him that much for speaking on behalf of all day. Like, he was being pretty reasonable, and he was like showing like really genuine sympathy. He's like, oh, this young girl isn't, she
Matthew McConaughey, the president? Come on. Just because he's cool? Come on.
loves science and dinosaurs, and she was killed at the age of 9. I mean, look, I guess a lot of this is kind of mawkish, but, he sounded the right notes. He wasn't sure. And he is smart, even though he's kind of, like, too smart for his own good. I remember seeing an interview with him, and he was like, what is politics? Like, what is this word? Like, what does that really mean? And it was almost like, all right, man, you're kind of like, we're getting into, like, dynasty and territory where you're really deconstructing everything. You're like, what are words and religious means? Think about that right now. A little too deep. But he's...
So Richard, with a background in theater, right, he sees everything in very theatrical ways, in aesthetic ways. Wow, look at that bloke. No, is that a Sheila climbing the rock? Whoa, even the Sheilas down here, they're tough. So yeah, Richard sees things in very aesthetic terms. What's cool? Right? Matthew McConaughey is cool. What looks good? What would make for good theatrical production? Like Richard's life is one ongoing theatrical production, and his sense of the theatrical makes him so compelling and wonderfully entertaining.
He's just a cool guy. He's handsome, white, but he's in good shape. He likes college football, which is kind of, doofusy, but he makes it work, so he would appeal to mid-state people. Just, God, yeah. I think that would, like, if someone can, like, overcome polarization, it would be him or Tom Brady. Yeah. I'm showing a lot of bias towards white men between the ages of 40 and 50.
I think even I would vote somehow if Matthew McConaughey ran. Him and Tom Brady is the running mate. My postal
Oh my God.
from Australia.
You would engage in voter fraud in order to vote. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. I just want it on the record for all the CIA operatives on the call.
Well, hey, Richard, it's really good to see that Colorado is going to legalize some psychedelics.
See, I am really against all this drug.
I say that joking.
Oh, you say that jokingly? Okay. Yeah, they're legalizing LSD.
Yeah, there's some sort of state proposition where certain psychedelics would be legal.
So on this walk, I was talking to someone from Holland, and I was assuming they had all sorts of legal drugs in Holland, but apparently only marijuana. So even in decadent Holland, they haven't legalized psychedelics, heroin, opium, cocaine. God, I would not want to be doing that.
Legalized, probably mushrooms or something like that.
The CIA wins once again. No, I mean, it's like, I really, first off, drugs are only cool if they're illegal. You know, like, this,
Drugs are only cool if they're illegal. Yeah, to a certain mindset. I guess when things are illegal, they're more cool. Right? Certain badass mindset. My God, I can't imagine climbing this cliff face. Unbelievable.
legal, you know what I mean? Like, and secondly, like, I'm really not a fan of pot. And I don't know if that, I'm sure we have one or two pot smokers in our group, but you'll just have to live with it. It's just such, it makes you mellow. It, like, takes you out of life. Like, nothing matters, man. You know, whatever. It's not, it's not like, whatever you want to say about coke, whatever you can say what you will about cocaine, it at least makes you kind of, like, get into life and be manic and crazy and, like, nuts. Pot just, like, takes you out. And I just have to say, like, pot was legalized in marijuana kind of, sort of, like 10 years ago, and then it was official recently. And you drive by, and there's just these, like, dispensaries, whatever, and I'm just like, fuck this shit. I don't want to be driving. Like, this is normal now. Like, I don't know. I don't like it. I just have a visceral, like, I guess I'm reactionary. I just have a visceral dislike of it.
I also think you can see it in art forms when you compare different drugs. Because
So, yeah, I've noticed that marijuana tends to have a negative effect on people. It tends to make people losers. So, what, maybe 1 out of 100 people who read Mein Kampf or Kevin McDonald's Cultural Critique go off the rails, but 10%, 20%, 30% of people try marijuana and it seems to become losers, seems to have a negative effect on them. So yeah, I share Richard's absolute distaste for marijuana.
when you think of cocaine, you think of like happy 80s dance music. When you think of marijuana or cannabis, it's just like really slow and really degenerate music, and it doesn't really have any meaning. And,
Yeah. It's like a 20-minute jam session of the Grateful Dead where there's like, it's just,
By the way, Richard, I have to ask you something completely unrelated. Because there's one thing I don't really understand as a European. Because when we go to the polling booths and vote, we have to show our IDs. But from outside, it's like really controversial in America that you show your ID. So let's say you were voting today.
I had to show my ID, yeah.
Oh, so you did that? Okay.
Well, I'm
So yeah, pretty much everywhere in the Western world, you have to show voter ID. So if it's so racist, why is every other Western country doing it but the United States? Now, I don't think there's evidence for massive amounts of voter fraud, but it's hard to make a convincing case that voter ID is so racist. Pretty much every other first world nation requires voter ID. There's a Jewish phrase about washing your Neshama, your soul, in the Wellsprings of Torah. You can also wash your Neshama, your soul, in the Wellsprings of Sydney Harbour.